Every unvalidated idea is quietly draining your time, money, and momentum. And the dangerous part is, it does not even feel like a mistake in the beginning. It feels like progress. You start building, you stay busy, and you convince yourself that it's actually working. But somewhere at the back of your mind, five questions keep showing up all the time. What if this sounds good but nobody actually wants to buy it right now? What if people like it but never prioritize paying for it? What if nobody is willing to commit money upfront? What if switching feels like too much effort for them? And most importantly, what if they say later and never show up? These are not small doubts, these are signals. Because what you really want is not just an idea. You want certainty before you start investing your time and money. And you want predictable revenue, not guesswork. So, in this episode, I'm going to give you a simple framework, a way to test your idea before you build it, a way to know if you will convert your idea into real revenue or will it quietly fail. And if you stay with me till the end, you'll have a clear test. Not motivation, not theory, a real filter that actually works. So, stop guessing and start building what actually sells in the market. Hello and welcome to this new episode of the Flywheel of Business, a podcast for entrepreneurs, marketeers, and business leaders who are done chasing growth for the sake of chasing growth and are ready to build sustainably. If you want to grow your business on momentum and not hustle, if you want to make your customer journey smoother and keep your clients longer, and if you want to create predictable profits for your business and more free time for yourself, you are at the right place. Hi, I'm Manish Ahuja. By profession, I am a business growth educator and consultant. I help make marketing and sales easy for working professionals and profitable for business owners. This episode was made possible by MrEmogical exclusive, but a little more about that later in the episode. The first thing that I wanted to start focusing on is define what you actually do and get absolute clarity on the core promise. Most ideas fail not because they are bad, but because they are unclear. If you cannot explain your idea to someone in one clear sentence, your customer cannot buy it from you. A strong idea sounds like this: I help this specific person achieve this specific result in this specific way better than any other alternative available in the market. Not broad, not vague, absolutely crystal clear specific. Because clarity creates belief. For example, a fitness coach that helps working professionals lose 5 kgs in 90 days without quitting their job. Or a marketing consultant helps coaches to generate their first 10 leads using organic content. Let me give you one more example. A finance advisor that helps freelancers build 10 lakh rupees of emergency funds in 12 months. Define the character, define the conflict, the resolution, and make it absolutely clear. Now, compare this with what you hear very often: I help people improve their life. There is no urgency, no direction, and most importantly, no reason to act. Change this in your business today and you'll start seeing results. Most people stop here and think that clarity is enough. It's not. Because even with a clear idea, you can still fail if it solves the wrong kind of problem. And that's where most people go wrong next. The second point is painkiller versus vitamin. Not all problems are equal. Some problems hurt right now, some problems feel optional. And your idea lives or dies based on which problem are you solving today. Painkillers sell fast. Vitamins keep getting postponed. A painkiller solves something absolutely urgent, whereas a vitamin improves something slowly. Now, here's the mistake that many founders make: they build vitamins and expect painkiller levels sales. And that is exactly why they fail. Let me illustrate this with a few examples. A business owner buys ads immediately because their sales are down. Ads are a painkiller. The same person delays learning branding for months, maybe even years. Why? Because branding is vitamins for business, not painkillers. A person joins a crash diet before a wedding. Why? Because wanting to look good in a wedding is a painkiller. The same person will keep delaying long term nutrition coaching because nutrition coaching is vitamins. A freelancer pays for lead generation tools instantly because every business needs leads, and a lead generation tool is a painkiller, but avoids mindset coaching for months and years. And I should know about this. I'll tell you a little more about this little later, because mindset coaching is vitamins. Same person acting differently because different urgencies. So the real question is not, is this useful? The real question that your business should answer is, does this solve something that they are feeling right now? And once you understand that, the next step becomes obvious. You don't need to validate ideas with opinions, you need to validate them with money. And once you understand this, you will stop asking, is this a good idea? And you'll start asking, will somebody pay for it right now? Because that's the only validation that matters. And before we move to how to actually test that, if you're someone who wants to frameworks like this, not just theory, but things you can actually apply into your business, you should definitely check out my newsletter called MrEmogical Exclusive. It's a private newsletter and a resource vault where I share real consulting frameworks, templates, and breakdowns like this. No fluff, just practical systems that you can use. It's absolutely free right now. The link is in the description, or you can scan the QR code that you see on your screen right now if you're watching this on YouTube. And let's get back to the part which most people avoid, actually testing your idea before you build it. The third point that I want you to focus on is test before you build. Pre-selling is very important. Most people build first and test later. That's working backwards. Validation happens before creation. The only real proof in the world of business is payment and money and revenues. Not likes, not compliments, not this sounds interesting. Money, period. So instead of building a full product, you can test commitment. Ask for a pre order, ask for a small deposit. You can offer early access, and you will see how things actually show up. For example, a course creator sells 20 seats before recording a single video. A consultant closes 3 clients before designing a full framework. A SaaS founder gets 50 paid waitlist users before writing a single line of code. This will eliminate guesswork, and this pre-selling process will give you the proof that you need, because when someone pays, they are telling you something very clear. This matters to me right now. And once you see who's paying you, you start noticing something deeper. People are already solving this problem, just not with you. And once you do this, you stop building based on assumptions, you start building based on proof. That's the turning point for you, your business, and your life. Because now it's no longer just an idea, it's about how people are already trying to solve this problem without you, and that changes everything about how you position your solution. The fourth point that I want you to focus on is, what are they using right now? What is the unacceptable alternative? Your competition is not always another product. Most of the times, it's the current way of doing things. And if that current way of doing things feels good enough, people will not switch. So, your job is not to just be better, your job is to make the current option feel unacceptable. Because change only happens when staying the same actually feels worse. Let me give you a few examples to explain this point even better. A business owner tolerates inconsistent leads until revenue drops below survival level, and then they'll switch fast. So, if you can show your core customer or your prospects how your product will solve the problem immediately, it will force them to take the next step. For example, a person ignores health until medical reports force action, then commits immediately, which is the reason why most doctors will tell you to get all your diagnostic reports to actually see the real condition of your health before making any recommendations. A creator sticks to random posting until growth stalls completely and then starts seeking structure. The breaking point creates movement, and your idea must connect to that breaking point, not to comfort. And once that shift happens, the only question that is left is, what now? When you understand this, you will stop trying to convince people. You start making their current option feel impossible to continue with. That's when switching becomes absolutely natural. Now, before we move to the final piece that drives action, if you're getting value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed, because in the next episode, I'm going to break down 5 superpowers of any successful business, and that will change how you look at growth completely. Now, let's talk about that one idea that decides whether everything you've built so far actually converts. The fifth point that I want you to understand about business is, why should they act together today, and what is the urgency trigger of your offer? Even if your idea is clear, even if it is solving a real problem, even if people are ready to pay, they can still delay because life is full of priorities. So, your idea must answer one final question: why should I act today? Urgency is not pressure, it's clarity about timing. For example, a limited batch program closes enrollment in 48 hours is forcing the prospect to make a decision because they know that the seats are also limited and enrollment will stop after 48 hours. A consultant offers onboarding bonuses for early clients, creating immediate action. Why? Because people want those onboarding bonuses. A product price increases for after the first 50 users is rewarding a speedy decision from your prospect because they know once that 50 users line is crossed, the price will not remain the same. No urgency means no action. And now you can see the full picture: clarity, pain, payment, switch, and timing. Miss even one, and your idea weakens. And when all of these five parameters work together, they come together, your idea stops being a possibility, it becomes a decision people are ready to act on. Now, here's what I want you to do: take your current idea and run it through these five filters. See where is your idea breaking. And if you want, tell me in the comments which part feels the weakest, because that's exactly where your growth is stuck right now. And in the next episode, we are going to go deeper into what actually makes business scale once the foundation is right. What makes me the person who is even eligible to tell you about all of these things? Let me tell you a personal story. When I entered the coaching industry, I made this exact mistake. I wanted to help people improve their relationship with money. On paper, it makes absolute sense. Most people struggle with money, so the demand has to be high, but it failed. My first coaching brand, Paycheck to Profit, failed miserably because I was solving the wrong version of the problem. People don't want to fix their relationship with money. They wanted to make money, and they wanted to make it fast. That was the real painkiller of the industry. I was selling a vitamin, and I didn't test with pre-selling. I assumed demand. I didn't validate it. So even when people actually needed what I was selling, they still did not buy. That is when everything changed for me, because I stopped building ideas and I started testing them. That's exactly what I want you to do, and which is why I've created this episode for you. Because how I wish somebody had given me all of these perspectives before I started growing and building my business. Let me very quickly give you the recap of all the 5 points that I've discussed with you in this episode. Point 1: define what you actually do and talk about the core promise. Point 2: start building painkillers and don't focus on vitamins, not at the start of your business anyway. Third: test everything before you build, start pre-selling. Do it the right way. Fourth: what are they using right now, and why is your product making their current solution the unacceptable alternative? And fifth, and the most important point: why should they act today? What is the urgency trigger of your offer? At the beginning, you had doubts. Will people buy this? Will they prioritize it? Will they pay upfront? Will they switch? Will they act now? Now you have a filter. You don't need to guess anymore. You just need to test everything that I have mentioned in this episode. And if your idea passes this, you don't just have an idea, you actually have a business. Congratulations. I want to know one thing: which of these 5 points change the way you will approach your business in the future? What do you think about it? And what hit the bullseye the most for you? And if something did not make sense, or if you disagree to something, let me know about that also in the comments below. Your feedback helps me make the future episodes better for you. If you have any questions about the framework of businesses, I'm more than happy to answer those also for you. And if you want more frameworks like these applied into real business world situations, do not forget to join MrEmogical Exclusive. It's a private newsletter and a resource vault. You can get access to real consulting frameworks, templates, and insights that I use with my own consulting clients. Reminder: link is in the description, so do go ahead and check it out. If this episode added value, please give it a like or give it a 5 star on the podcast application where you're listening to this episode right now. This takes just a few seconds, but helps this episode reach to a much more wider audience who actually needs to get access to information like this. If you'd like to know about behind the scenes, want a sneak peek of how I'm building my personal brand and my coaching business, make sure to follow me on Instagram and other social media platforms. If you want to subscribe to my WhatsApp community, WhatsApp channel, or the Telegram community of MrEmogical, so that you can get updates about the new content that is going online or the new episodes when they come up, go ahead and check those links also in the episode notes or the show notes, so that you can stay updated with all the content that I create. Thank you for staying with me till the end of the episode. I really appreciate your commitment to want to build your profitable flywheel for your business. If you've reached till this point of the episode and if you still can't think of any comment per se, just go ahead and write the word vitamins, so I know that you listened to this episode till the end, and I'll be extremely grateful for you to do that. I will now see you in the next episode. Until then, take good care of yourself, keep going, keep growing.